If you're someone who really wants to be well-informed, to kind of cut through reading dozens of dense papers and just get the core insights you can actually use, well, this deep dive is definitely for you. We're plunging into a topic that seems simple, but honestly, the headlines are all over the place. Fruit. Specifically, its surprising dual role in your cognitive health. We tend to think of fruit as like the ultimate health food, fresh, natural, gotta be good. But the research we've gathered today from places like Harvard, the NIH, and big meta-analyses, it kind of forces us to look again. The science suggests some fruits might actually be, well, silent saboteurs, while others are absolute heroes for your brain cells. So our mission here is actionable knowledge. We need to figure out, based on the data, which fruits could potentially accelerate dementia risk and which ones help slow it down. It's about moving past that simple idea that, natural equals good.
Exactly. And we really have to move past that. The situation is, frankly, urgent. Dementia impacts over 55 million people globally. That's a WHO figure. And when you zero in on Alzheimer's, which is the most common type, the numbers are striking. Diet can influence up to 40% of the risk. That's huge.
40%? Wow.
Yeah. It puts what you eat squarely in the realm of a major strategy, not just some minor lifestyle choice.
That totally changes how you look at your grocery list, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And the research we looked at really highlights the mechanism, the why behind this.
It does. The key link is between chronic inflammation, high blood sugar, and then the cognitive decline that can follow. This connection is so strong, actually, that some top experts are now calling Alzheimer's diabetes type 3.
Diabetes type 3 because of the insulin connection.
Precisely. Insulin resistance in the brain seems to speed up the buildup of those harmful amyloid plaques. And crucially, how we measure a fruit's impact often comes down to its glycemic index, or GI, and glycemic load, the GL. That tells us how fast the sugar, mostly fructose in fruit, hits your bloodstream and triggers that insulin response. High GL fuels inflammation. Low GL lets the good stuff, the antioxidants, do their job.
Okay, so GI, GL, inflammation, those are our metrics. We need to see how different fruits play into that, either fueling the fire or fighting it. So to structure this, we're going to set up a kind of duel. We'll divide the fruit bowl into 2 rounds. The 7 traitors that might accelerate risk, and the 7 heroes that help protect your brain. All right, let's unpack this. Round 1 first. We're looking at fruits that maybe because you eat too much or they're heavily processed can speed up risks by causing inflammation and those big glucose spikes. The sources link these kinds of high GL patterns to, well, anywhere from a 14% to even an 84% increased risk in some groups. That's significant.
Yeah, it is. And remember, it's usually not the fruit itself that's inherently bad, it's the pattern. Eating, say, super ripe versions or processed forms constantly in large amounts that overwhelms your system's ability to handle glucose. That's what promotes the insulin resistance and plaque buildup.
Got it. So let's name names. Traitor number 1, bananas. Often seen as the go-to for quick energy.
Right, but consume them too often, like more than 1 or 2 a day.
Then what?
Well, they pack a punch of fast carbs, about 25 grams in a medium banana, and often people eat them alone, without anything to balance it out. There's a key study, I think it was in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, linking frequent sharp glucose spikes directly to faster cognitive decline over time, and ripe bananas have a higher GI.
Okay, so if someone's aiming for, say, 5 servings of fruit a day, and just 1 banana has that kind of glycemic load, isn't it quite easy to accidentally push your overall sugar intake into that inflammatory zone, especially with multiple bananas?
That's exactly the challenge. So the practical advice is crucial. Pair that banana with something. Healthy fats, protein nuts, seed butter, something like that. It slows down the sugar absorption, changes the GL profile quite a bit.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, traitor number 2, grapes. And maybe even more so, raisins.
Yeah, grapes are sneaky potent. About 15 grams of sugar in just a handful. And it gets worse when they're concentrated, like in juices or dried into raisins. High intake of sugary drinks, including grape juice, is specifically linked to cognitive issues. One study even suggested it could potentially double the risk of vascular dementia. Raisins are just super concentrated sugar.
Moving on, traitor number 3, ripe mangoes. Tropical and delicious, but
very high GL and sugar. You could be looking at, 45 grams of sugar in a whole mango? The NIH confirms that diets consistently high in this kind of excess natural fructose can promote chronic Brown inflammation. And blending huge amounts into a smoothie, you bypass the fiber, delivering a big inflammatory hit all at once.
so how you eat it matters. The blending thing is a big one.
Absolutely. Eat it in pieces, get the fiber. Don't just gulp down a massive liquid sugar dose.
Okay, traitor 4,
Right.
Pineapple, especially in large portions.
Right. A single serving's got about 16 grams of sugar. It's a classic high GI fruit. We saw studies like in Nature Aging linking these high GI fruits to what they call multimorbidity, basically speeding up various age-related diseases, and that includes cognitive problems.
Number 5, watermelon.
Ah.
The summer favorite, especially those huge slices.
Super hydrating, yes, but still packing about 20 grams of sugar per cup. That amount is linked to insulin spikes, especially if you're pre-diabetic or diabetic, and that's a known major risk factor for accelerating Alzheimer's. So portion size is key, really key.
Right. Trader 6. Dates and other sugar-dried fruits. People think of them as natural energy boosters.
And they are concentrated energy, but that means concentrated sugar, too, could be up to 66 grams per 100 grams. Very high. A review in Neurology specifically flagged processed versions of dried fruits, where the structure is often even more broken down, showing about a 25% increased risk of cognitive issues. Use them like a sprinkle for flavor, not a main snack.
Good advice. And finally, the one that seems to do the worst rap, Trader number 7. Packaged fruit juices. Orange juice, apple juice.
Yeah, this is probably the biggest offender. Because processing strips away so much of the good stuff. They're pasteurized, the essential fiber is usually gone, and often they have added sugars on top of it all. There was one major study following almost 800 patients. It found that regularly drinking these packaged juices basically doubled the risk of dementia compared to people who mainly ate whole fruits.
Doubles the risk. Wow, okay, that's a sobering list. Let's flip the script now. Time for round 2. The 7 heroes. These are the fruits packed with things like flavonoids and polyphenols, acting like armor against oxidative stress. The sources suggest they can reduce risk by maybe 20 to 30%.
That's right. And studies show consistently getting about 2 servings of these heroes daily can significantly lower Alzheimer's risk. So let's start with the MVP, everyone's favorite, blueberries.
What's so special about them? Beyond just being generally healthy.
It's their anthocyanins, that deep blue color. Multiple big reviews, meta-analyses have shown blueberries don't just help with short-term memory now, but regular long-term consumption seems to reduce the overall risk of dementia by maybe 2.5 times. That's pretty powerful. Brain power in blue.
Okay. Hero number 2, strawberries. Also very popular.
And beyond the vitamin C, there's a specific compound, pelargonidin.
Pelargonidin.
Yeah. Recent NIH trials are linking this flavonoid to actually reversing some short-term cognitive decline in older adults. They're fantastic free radical fighters, great for protecting neurons long-term.
Interesting. Hero 3, oranges and other citrus fruits.
Rich in flavonoids, especially one called hesperidin. Studies show hesperidin can actively cut systemic inflammation by about 20%. Plus, Harvard research points to citrus helping improve blood flow to the brain, which is critical for delivering oxygen and nutrients right where they're needed.
Good point. Hero 4, apples. But we learned a lesson earlier about how you eat things.
Yes, you absolutely have to eat the skin. The main antioxidant powerhouse in apples is quercetin, and most of it is right there in the skin. We saw that German study linking regular apple eating to less mental fragility, but that benefit is really tied to eating the whole fruit, skin included. Don't peel away the protection.
Okay, note to self. Stop peeling apples. Makes sense. Hero 5, tart cherries.
These are great. They provide melatonin naturally, which helps with quality sleep, and good sleep is crucial for clearing waste products from the brain, something we now know is linked to dementia risk. Plus, they're loaded with anthocyanins, too. The Nutrition Journal actually measured their antioxidant capacity up to 7 millimoles per 100 grams, potent anti-inflammatory stuff.
Number 6, pomegranates. They feel a bit exotic sometimes.
Maybe, but their function is incredibly relevant. It's about their polyphenols again. What's really fascinating is the blood-brain barrier, the brain's security system. It keeps most large molecules out.
Right.
Well, most antioxidants can't easily get through. But specific pomegranate polyphenols, they're among the few that can cross that barrier. That means they can directly fight amyloid plaques and oxidative stress right inside the brain tissue.
Wow, okay. That context about crossing the barrier makes a big difference.
It really does. And finally, hero number 7, easy to forget, it's technically a fruit avocado.
Ah, yes. Avocado toast's contribution to brain health.
Sort of. Its hero status comes from its healthy monounsaturated fats and lots of vitamin E. These are vital for protecting cell membranes, the outer walls of your brain cells. Lots of studies link these specific fats and vitamin E to better overall cognitive function. Great fuel and protection for your neurons.
Okay, so let's pull this all together. The core message seems to be, the traders are okay sometimes in moderation as whole fruits. But the highly processed versions, the juices, the excessive amounts, especially high GL ones, they accelerate risks through inflammation and those insulin mechanisms. The big journals like Neurology and the NIH data make that pretty clear.
Exactly. And on the flip side, the heroes, especially those colorful berries and citrus fruits, they're your best defense. When you build them into dietary patterns like the Mediterranean diet or the Mind diet, you consistently see risk reductions, maybe up to 30%.
So it's not about finding one single magic fruit. It's about creating a brain-friendly environment with these low GL, high antioxidant patterns.
Absolutely. It's about consistency. Aiming for, say, 2 or 3 servings a day of these varied heroes. Of course, genes matter, exercise, sleep, they're all part of the picture. But the evidence on balancing your fruit intake this way for cognitive health is really, really solid.
Right. Okay, so for everyone listening wanting to put this into action, here are 3 specific steps drawn straight from the research we discussed. First, your weekly challenge. Just swap out 1 packaged juice this week. Replace it with a bowl of fresh blueberries. Maybe keep a little journal. See if you notice any difference in your energy levels, especially that afternoon slump. Second, the recipe challenge. Make a hero salad sometime this weekend. Toss together strawberries, orange slices, maybe some pomegranate seeds. Try to make that kind of combination a regular thing. And third, this scientific challenge. If you're feeling curious, look up a short NIH paper or summary on flavonoids, maybe hesperidin and cerebral blood flow. Just getting familiar with the terms helps understand why these heroes work. Okay, so we've clearly established today that things like apple skin, with its quercetin, are crucial, and processed juice is bad because it strips fiber and concentrates sugar. It makes me wonder, given that the Mind diet stresses whole foods partly to manage that sugar hit, what about other common ways we prep fruit?
Like, say, freezing really sugary fruits, or intense blending even for hero berries, or maybe even slow juicing. Could those methods accidentally be pushing even good fruits back towards traitor territory by messing with that crucial fiber and sugar balance? Something to think about. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the surprisingly complex world of the fruit bowl. Go eat smart, stay curious, and we'll talk to you next time.